Hey guys, welcome back. I told you to, I didn't tell you, I asked you to send me some videos, some other videos on the Gurkhas after I did the first one from, the, I don't know, the American. Um, and you guys sent me a couple. I did watch one, and then a lot of you guys said to go watch this one, as well. I think submitted this one to me as well, but it is from BFBS Forces News, and it is the life changing journey of being selected as a Gurkha from Forces TV. I will link this video in the description along with a link over to Patreon and a link of how you can support the channel here on YouTube by becoming a member and getting a bunch of extra perks like getting to watch videos before anybody else, as well as how to just do a one-time donation. If you appreciate a video, really enjoy a video, you could do like um, actually you could do it through YouTube or you could do it through Buy Me a Coffee. Um, but let's go ahead and jump into this video and check it out.
Make this journey again.
Oh no.
If not, life.
I don't know how it skipped all the way ahead, but let's get it started.
This is Gurkha class of 2019. "400 trainee soldiers, the biggest intake to set foot in the UK in over 30 years. Most are just teenagers, and their journey began thousands of miles from here. Nepal. It's a small nation wedged between India and China, the mighty Himalayas running down its spine. It remains one of the world's poorest and least developed countries, and for 200 years the British Army have recruited some of its strongest young men with the blessing of the Nepalese. Every year 10,000 apply to join, pledging to fight and potentially die for a country and a queen on the other side of the world. It's a friendship like no other, a British Foreign Legion over 200 years old. With the UK's crisis in recruitment, we need them more than ever. But how do you find the very best Gurkhas?
Crisis in recruitment, does that mean that there's just less Brits signing up to that there's less Brits signing up to fight? Bear with me for 1 second. This table is wobbly and I need to shove something under here and fix it. It's going to drive me crazy and it's going to be wobbly throughout the video. So bear with me 2 seconds. You guys are the best. So I guess that kind of does explain why in the last video that we had, there we go, that's a little bit better, of why the Nepal folks are able to graduate at a higher rate because they need it more, right? Simple as that.
How do the British Army protect them from the corruption so rife in Nepal? And once in, is it all they dreamed of?
Gurkha company. Stop.
The first stage of selection for the British Army takes place each year in September, one in the west of Nepal in Pokhara and one in the east, here in hot, sticky Dharan. Young men from all around get up in the early hours and travel miles to be here for a chance of a job in the British Army.
Today we got one hilly district, that's Dankuta, and we got 5 Tarai districts. Normally they're farming background, especially in Tarai district, they're farming backgrounds, and hilly district also farming background. But nowadays most of the boys from the hills do come down to the cities, near the cities, for a better education, better life, or probably better facilities as well. Yeah.
Look like
This
babies.
year, the recruiting campaign was bigger than ever before. They advertised on every one of Nepal's 72 radio stations, and the recruiting officers, retired Gurkhas known as Galawalas, travelled to all corners of the country, gathering young men together on football pitches, tennis courts and cafes. They modernised their website. Potential recruits, known as PRs, could even email Deputy Head of Recruiting Major Sandy Nightingale personally. And they did.
I do get quite a few emails from PRs asking some quite various questions, from are my teeth okay with photographic evidence to, can women join this year? What we're trying to do is dispel the myth that only certain Nepalis can join the British Army. It's still amazing to me that people think it's only certain castes, people think that you have to be rich, people think all kinds of things that are all wrong. We will take anyone who's good enough. We make sure there's a British officer on every single stand as well, just so no one could think, oh, I'm a Gurung, he's a Rai, maybe he's going to give me a worse mark.
So they do allow women as well? Because I haven't seen any Gurkha women thus far. I wonder if even though the British might allow it, that maybe Nepal doesn't? I don't know. Maybe we just haven't seen them.
There are 125 castes or ethnic groups throughout Nepal, and historically, Gurkhas came from just 4 of these groups. Over the years, the army has succeeded in reaching more diverse sectors of society, in part thanks to its dedicated team of Galawalas who go out in tireless search of the best young men. This year's newest and most baby Galawala, aged just 45, made a dramatic entrance, bringing in record numbers from the east.
Wow, I'm really enjoying my job. Because I want to do something for my countries, the British Army. Everybody know in the world, this is one of the best army in the world.
Due to the searing heat, the 800-metre run has become the first test of the day, and the locals have turned out to cheer the boys on. Or perhaps eye up the competition.
Stand by. Go!
With the futures of so many potential recruits resting on the selection process, there is no room for human error.
Every single score that's written down gets checked by someone else. And I personally will check every single score of those who are selected. Then the Chief of Staff will check every single score of those who are selected. In order to understand fairness, you have to understand Nepali society generally. Nepal is a country where people pay money to get just about everything. And therefore, for us to kind of display ourselves as being free, fair and transparent, we have to go to huge lengths to convince people that that's the case. We'll tell them not to pay money to anyone to get into the British Army.
The first exam is maths.
Similarly, in the exam hall, every question must be unique. By 3 p.m, the test paper will be in the local bazaar, being sold for a few rupees.
Well, writing the papers is extremely difficult. We do keep them under strict lock and key, and then in order to generate those papers, to proofread those papers, to proofread them again and again, because if there are any dramas on the day, it is unfortunately a cohort of young boys who are going to suffer, and we do not want that to happen.
One focus of this year's campaign has been to filter out potential problems early to avoid wasting recruits' efforts, emotions and money. Major Nightingale has introduced a new test to regional selection. Hyperextending elbows, some call it noodle arm, is an immediate fail, so this is now checked early. Throughout the day, if the recruits fall short on anything, they head straight to the dreaded Chowtari and then home.
These boys will give everything to try and get into the British Army. I'm not saying that a British soldier is not equally motivated to join the British Army, but the difference with these guys is their whole families put pressure on them to join the British Army. If they get into the British Army, their whole family's life will change forever. And that's the context that we're working with.
1456, Nishchal. 1460, Prajwal.
1468, Pradeep Kumar. Yes, sir. 1470.
For some of today's young men, the news is devastating.
1499, Sugam. Yes, sir. 1500, Sunil.
The recruiting staff are very protective of them. They won't allow anyone to speak to the potential recruits. Today is too important. The chosen few will be invited back to selection.
So this is only with the people from Nepal. Like when they do this with British soldiers, is it this difficult? I mean, I've never even heard of noodle arms before. I don't know. It's devastating seeing some of the ones that haven't gone in, and just, from what they're saying, that this is probably something that they have been raised as long as they can remember, that this is what they needed to do. And I mean, it's not even just like, oh, I didn't get it. That's a devastating for them. The pressure from their families, that's a lot of hope lost.
In January, where they'll compete for one of just a few hundred places. Only 4% of the 10,000 applicants will make it.
Wow.
Gurkhas have been part of the British military for over 200 years, ever since the Anglo-Nepalese War, when the British were so impressed by the fighting skills of their enemy, they struck a deal to recruit them when the war was over. Since then, they've become one of the most feared units of the British forces and fought in every major conflict. The politest of soldiers, the most ferocious of fighters. Can today's recruits uphold a reputation centuries old? South of the Himalayas and west of Kathmandu lies Pokhara, Nepal's second largest city.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've landed at Raeford. Thank you for flying with the Airlines. Namaste.
It's the gateway to the Annapurna mountain range, a favourite spot for trekkers. But it's also home to final selection for the British Gurkhas. It's here that the recruiting team must choose once and for all who will become the future Nepali warriors. They've already been selected as the best of the best from their regions. Now they must undergo even more.
I have another question, if anybody knows, but if there is a recruiting crisis to get people from the UK to join, and they have all of these guys in Nepal that are trying so hard to get in, why do they only accept 4%? Why not up that? Why not take more of them? If they're more successful in graduating the training, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, I guess. Just to make it exclusive.
More rigorous tests, not least of which is the infamous doko race. The race involves running up a mountain in the Himalayan foothills with 25 kilos of sand in a basket strapped around the forehead.
It is our identity as a Gurkha and carry a doko. We got the British Elite Force, like the Para, they got their own specific training. Like the commandos, they have got their own selection, and this is unique for the Gurkhas.
The day before, the sand is meticulously weighed and the doko baskets carefully laid out. Each recruit must prepare his own.
In case of raining, they are covering their blanket by plastic. In case of rain, they will be heavier than usual weight.
And why the blanket?
Blanket because this one is quite rough, so they may scratch their skin at their backside.
How hard is the doko race?
It is very hard, very hard.
The doko race was only introduced in 1989. Before that, most of the young men grew up in the mountains and did this daily. there was no need for a test. At 5:45 a.m, the potential recruits leave camp, gather their doko baskets, and when enough light has risen,
Hello, finishing point, this is start point, over.
the race begins.
Yes, sir. Okay, group number 1. Blue, figure 34, stand by, go!
It is tough as a nature of the event because it is uphill from start to the end. So my tips for the boys is do not give up. Keep going and never look up. If you look up, obviously, your weight pull you towards the ground and pull you back. So always bend down and keep going up.
This last run was quite dodgy because of the weather. It rained the whole night and boys were wet this morning and their doko was wet. The terrain itself is difficult, uphill, the steps and stones and boulders and the puddles.
No time for water stops. The recruits must complete the course in 46 minutes. If they fail, they leave selection immediately. At the top, it's time for a well-earned breakfast and relief at last. The descent is less painful, the boys singing as they go. Selection is almost complete. It won't be long now until they know what their future will hold. It's the night before results day for the potential recruits, or PRs, from the west of Nepal. And to ease the nerves, the recruiting staff have suggested they put on a show. Western Idol delights the judging panel. It's clear that West's got talent. The next morning, it's a different story. The young men must now say their goodbyes. If successful, they're unlikely to see their newfound friends again. Many will be heading home. In a few moments' time, they'll be invited into a room one by one and told their fate.
We see a massive spectrum of Nepali society. We have people from very, very poor backgrounds who are orphans. You see everything in that room, which is why we don't allow you guys to go in there. It means so much to them to get in because a lot of them might have gambled everything on this. It's quite a raw environment, actually.
Hard for you emotionally?
Yeah, well, I think everyone, really. We are obviously emotionally invested. It's impossible not to be.
The minutes tick by painfully. The staff of Gurkha company from Catterick survey from above. If the recruits are successful, they will bound up the stairs at 1,000,000 miles an hour before anyone can change their minds. There, they will become part of the British Army, and it's over to Gurkha company to turn them into soldiers. Amongst the candidates is 20-year-old Madhav Karki. This is his fourth and final attempt and his last chance to get in before he turns 21 and can no longer apply. Everyone is nervous. Outside the gate, the families wait, willing their sons not to appear through the railings. For those who've been unsuccessful, there is next year, if they are under 21 and can afford to make this journey again. If not, life will have to be very different. As Madhav Karki appears through the door, it looks to be good news.
I'm feeling very excited and I'm feeling like I'm in the moon. So it's my dream became true. So I'm feeling very happy. No one in my family, they are in the army. I'm the first guy in the British Army right now.
You must feel so proud.
Yeah, yes ma'am.
You're in the British Army, how does it feel?
Oh, Tyria, this is very emotional, especially with the one guy. I'm so glad he got in. I was worried about him. But gosh, for you, especially in his case, where you're this is like your last chance, and like he's the first one. His entire life, his family's life, just changed. Ah,
It's my happiest moment of my life.
Really?
Yes. It's my dream come true, ma'am.
Have you tried before?
Yes, ma'am. This is my second dream, ma'am.
And you remember what it felt like last year, so this must be so special.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very happy, ma'am. Hello, Dai.
The first thing the boys are allowed to do is phone home.
We give the boys 4 phone calls throughout the selection process. So after each stage, so after the medical, after the physical, after the education, and when they're selected, they get a phone call. And that's basically so their parents hear from them first, so no one else can sort of play games and say, oh, your son's nearly there, but I'll get him in if you give me some money. So it's to prevent that kind of thing. And of course, it's nice that
gosh, I mean, it just seems like it's so corrupted from the country, just like them trying to constantly get bribes and stuff from them that aren't real. It's not, the British Army that's doing it, but it's golly, the challenges that they must have to deal with. I mean, I guess that's why they're rechecking everything to make sure there's not any advantages for anybody, and that everything is fair.
their parents hear them first. It's always a little bit sad when the parents don't pick up and they're waiting agonisingly for their parents to answer the phone.
Hello, Baba.
I just called my father. He's just crying on the other side of phone. They're so happy. I know.
With their new recruits assembled, Gurkha Company waste no time. The boys' own clothes will now be sent back to their families. They'll need a whole new wardrobe in the British Army.
They have to get all their kit and equipment, so it's like a big Christmas day. So as you can see on the table, they are the Christmas father, and then they are getting a bunch of bag. We don't know who's going to be selected, and we don't know the sizes. So now we'll take them to the room, and then if there's a big or small, we try to sort it out within the group.
So it's like a big swapping session.
Yes.
And inevitably all the big guys will end up with a small kit.
Yeah, it will happen, yeah.
Next up, a trip to the barber and the tailor.
40.
You feel like you are a part of our army. Without wearing these suits, you're no longer civilian.
What was the hardest part of selection for you?
For me, it was 2400 meter running race, VFT, because since I'm a grown up all in the city, I haven't run that much. So for me to pass only, it was very hard. But I have trained hard with my friend. Then I have succeeded and passed.
The new recruits are inoculated, fitted for their Virtus body armour, and measured for their civvy outfits known as the mufti. Camp quickly becomes awash with ironing boards and boot polish, and mirror space is very much at a premium. The recruits keep none of their old belongings. Everything is new.
The Gurkha tie. This is a special tie. You can't find. I don't think you can find it in.
We cannot buy it. We cannot buy it.
This is probably akin to like Christmas for them, because it seems like it's such a poor country. Like, to get this full bag of new clothes and like nice ties and their their military uniforms that obviously they've been working for. I bet this is just, it's probably so overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a specially designed tie for Gurkhas.
And so it's used only on special occasions, I think.
Shampoo,
soaps. We have our razor kits.
Usually the Mongols don't really grow
Mongols
mustache.
people,
Yeah,
don't really have beard or mustache. Like
it's very rare in our case, man.
The exciting I am because son is always better than father because of the time they improve. So this intake will be better than last intake straight away. Son is always better than father. My son will be better than me straight away.
उता फर्किन्छ पछाडी चाहिँ हात राख्दाखेरि चाहिँ तिम्रो चाहिँ मेक स्योर तिम्रो चाहिँ यो पाम चाहिँ क्रस गरेको हुनु पर्यो हुन्छ अनि यहाँनिर चाहिँ कुनै खालको चाहिँ स्लिट हुनु भएन
One of the most important new challenges this week is drill lesson 1. In a few days' time, they must parade in front of dignitaries and their families, and everyone wants it to be perfect.
मेक स्योर फ्रन्ट र्याङ्क चाहिँ मेक स्योर के हो तिमीले चाहिँ 45 डिग्री एंगलमा चाहिँ हेरेको हुनु पर्यो बुझ्यो फेरि गोर्खा कम्पनी भन्छु त्यहाँबाट फेरि के हो पोजिसन अफ एटेन्सनमा आउने ओके गोर्खा कम्पनी
It's all about the legacy, our tradition. 15 years ago, I was like them. And then one of my section commander, his name is Captain Bhakta Sesson. I am his legacy. So he teaches me everything, how to survive, how to do the things in army. And I'm doing the same thing to these boys. So maybe after a few years later, so one of these boys will stand in front of this place, and then probably he will say the same. The legacy will go on and on, on and on. But they will always remember us, and we will also remember them.
The recruits have just a week to get to grips with the basics before they fly to the UK. There's a lot to learn, and they'll need their new comrades, their numries, to help them out every step of the way. Instructors from Gurkha Company in Yorkshire's Catterick Garrison await the arrival of their new recruits.
Oh yes, everyone is looking forward for this day.
Because Gurkha Company would have been quite quiet, won't it?
It is, yeah, it is quite quiet when the boys are not in the camp around, and then we just feel lonely when the boys are not in.
Soon enough they appear, safe into this foreign land, which from now on will be their home.
Oh,
It's
those
a really
bags.
unknown area when you come into the UK. When I recall my memories, it's exciting as well as a bit daunting as well. You don't know what's coming up. So a bit excited, and on the other hand, you're away from your families as well. So you've got lots of emotion in your mind going through.
It's been a long journey to get here. Years of training, months of tests, examinations and interviews. But this is only the beginning. They will fight for this country and this queen now. A job that will change their own future and the fortunes of their families. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe to our channel or
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that really tugs at your heart, and it does put in perspective of like why they do have such a high success rate of graduating. Just what they have put into it, and then you know, some of them trying multiple times to get in, and just what it means to their family, to them, to their future. I mean, it's just just getting in changes everything. That was a really good video. Great suggestion from you guys. Sean suggested it, and a lot of other subscribers did as well, and I completely understand why. Yeah, you can't watch that and not root for those kids, and they look so young. I mean, they are young; they're babies. But you do, and I think probably Britain's more similar to America in that you have so many young people. My son's one of them that just are not raised like to do like hard work like that every day and have like this really great goal that you're working for daily. I mean, these guys have unfortunately grown up in such a poor country that sounds pretty kind of corrupt in a lot of ways. A lot of people trying to get money out of you, just desperate. That this is just kind of for them the only light at the end of the tunnel. The end for them, for their families. Um, I think a lot of us are absolutely spoiled and don't uh really, it's good and it's bad. I think everybody should be raised to appreciate things and work hard and all that stuff, but it's a balance of work life. I know at least over here, companies I think really take advantage of people expecting more from them than they pay them for, frankly. But then you have these very poor countries and they just don't have a lot of options. And so something like this opportunity just is absolutely monumental. Monumental, not just for them and their family, but generations, I'm sure. Really good video. Really good, really good. My heart breaks for the ones that didn't get in. Hopefully some of them got in the next year. Or the next year or the next year. But yeah, really great video. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you guys for the suggestion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and hype the video. And yeah, have an awesome, awesome day, guys.